I brought you a gift in the little white box, and it's a pedometer. So when you clip it to your waistband and you do your walking during the day, see if you can get the 10,000 steps. You never know. I mean, they have all these expensive ones that you wear around your wrist and everything and spend like $1,000, but these things were pretty good. So it's just really amazing. I really do believe that age is just a number, and I kind of say, if you look at a person's age and you get prejudiced because somebody is 80-something or 90-something and they can't be at a club, that's wrong. That's already pre-deciding what that person can do. Remember back when you were like 19 and you couldn't wait till you were 21 so you could vote or you could have drinks and all of that? It was like back in those years when you were young, you couldn't wait to get to that point. There's a certain age that you get to drive at 16 and all those. But then what happens when you go through your 30s, your 40s, your 50s? Oh my God, the big 5-0. What's going to happen? And then when you're 60 years plus, it's like prejudices are out there. I'm heading toward 79 years old in a few months. Age is just a number. And my husband and I are going to be celebrating our 60th wedding anniversary next year. So we're thinking of maybe getting married all over again. So it's kind of like, what do other people do when they go with the flow and think they're too old? What is the population out there who looks at us because we have gray hair? Guess what? I let my hair go gray a long time ago, and I want to tell anybody here who dyes your hair. I get more compliments on gray hair because I have so many of my friends that dye their hair. And gray is saying, hey, look at what they've gone through. Isn't this amazing? And they see what you're doing here at the Lions, with the Lions Club, and all the good deeds that you're doing every single day. And look at, my hair is gray, and I'm still doing this, so don't you dare judge me that I should be sitting on a rocking chair in my home. So think about that, men and ladies who maybe will dye their hair or anything. So when I got this, as Ken told you, I was in my generation, because I got married in 1959 at age 19. First kid at 21, second kid at 23, that's it, boy, girl, Cuddy, no more kids. But there was a thing back in that day that women were homemakers, and I loved doing that. And maybe some of you, the men were the breadwinners, you made the money, and we got to raise our kids and everything. And there's some things that go up and down with the generational changes. I really think being home for your kids, if you can do that, is a very important thing while they're growing up. But then, like Ken said, I went on to go to college after my kids got into high school, okay? And that opened up all kinds of doors. And it doesn't matter if you're in a volunteer position, whatever you're doing, it is impacting the world, especially if you're doing good deeds like you all are. So I said, you know what? I want to do a TV show. I want to show seniors like you all doing like amazing things. So I take classes on, on videographer and all that kind of stuff, and I'm on public access television, just where anybody can do the YouTube thing. And I'm doing these shows, and a year and a half, and I get a retired photographer from the Torrance Unified School District who said, "Help! I want to help you. I'll be your videographer. You be in front of the camera," and I'm so bashful, right? So we were doing this show and putting it on public access TV, and after a year and a half, I get a phone call, Spectrum and Frontier, okay? "Ho, we've been hearing about your show. We'd like to talk to you about a job." So in 2011, I am a TV producer host. I have a show on every single day called Senior Scene. And what I wanted to do with that show is show all those people who are prejudiced against aging. Ageism is alive in America still. And I wanted to show people doing amazing things. So, I mean, this is like amazing. I was looking for the oldest senior in Torrance, and I found a 103-year-old, okay, Zora Selkin, okay? What is she doing? She's making blankets for the battered women's shelter, okay? So I filmed her doing all that. Then the second day, I mean, she has a caregiver in her house, and they drive her to all the places. Then the second day of the film shoot, she played poker at her church. So we're at the table there, and here she's walking with her walker, you know, like this, you know, she goes in, and she's at the table, and I got my 2 camera crew there and everything, and I say, so Zora, do you ever win? And she goes, I never win. She talks like that. And all the guys and gals at the table said, yes, you do, Zora, you take all our money. And it was like she lived to be 105, and I was honored to speak at her funeral because she was just like amazing. Then I went out to Sierra Golf Course. For anybody who lives here in Torrance, it's a small golf course, and I had these people who retired from the Torrance Unified School District, who had high offices, I'm not mentioning names, and they were in their 80s and 90s, and they're playing golf. You know, they're playing golf out there. They're not just sitting at home and watching TV, okay? And it was like, I wanted to open up that window for the people who see my show on television every day and say, hey, look it, you know, if you're not doing this, maybe you should think of something that you want to do. If you go into Torrance Memorial Medical Center, or you go into Little Company of Mary Hospital, what do you see there as volunteers who are doing amazing things? They're not getting paid, but they're getting outside the doors of their house, and they're making a difference. And they're having fun, and they're making new friends. And it's something to do. It's not a job, it's something to do. I had a gentleman, he was probably in his mid-80s, and he was volunteering in a school classroom, an elementary school classroom. And it was, these kids were, I think it was 3rd grade, and they added better than I do. I swear I got my little calculator, right? And here he was, you know, sitting with the children and taking the time. The teachers, when you go into the classrooms today and you see how big, how many kids are in those classrooms, the teacher can't get around and look at the kid adding the problem that's of the day and help them out. You can't get to all of them. So here's this guy, and he goes into the classrooms every week, and he's helping the teacher. It's things like that that I think are so, so important. So the benefits of what you are all doing, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here because you're doing this, but it is, you live a longer and happier life. And all of you are doing that right now in the work that you're doing with the Lions Club. You're making new friends out there. I love coming here and seeing the friendships. I love coming here and seeing all the badges that everybody wears. I think it's so impressive. I'd like to have some of those. You smile more. Look at you're smiling already. And you show the world, all of you, that age is just a number. Age is just a number. And thanks to the wonderful miracles of scientists, doctors, therapists, all of that, whatever your problem, you know, because as we go through aging, you know, we have, you know, I have arthritis, you know, it's like, so I go for therapy at the hospital there and know what I have to do for my hands. And whatever is happening as you're all going through the aging process, luckily in this day and time, there is answers of what can help us through that, you know, and just keep doing what you're doing. If you want to see my show, I'm on Torrance City Cable. If you do not live in Torrance, you can see it online. Senior Scene is what it's called. And Senior Scene, S-C-E-N-E, Senior Scene. And I'll give your president the, is it president?
I'm the governor.
The governor. He's not the president, he's the governor. I'll give him the link. I'll give him the link to the show, or if whoever else, and so that they can maybe email it to you on one of your things, so you could watch it. If you don't live in the city of Torrance, unfortunately, you can't see it. I'm on Spectrum and Frontier, but in the city of Torrance, my show, Senior Scene. But you could see it on YouTube, and you can see all my shows, which are just amazing. I love thinking of ideas. I just really do. So I thank you. I hope I was some inspiration to you for, you know, keep on doing what you're doing, because it is amazing. It is keeping you healthy. It is keeping you happy. And if the whole world could see the benefits of what each and every one of you get out of being a lion, is just amazing. And I think you are all to be congratulated, and I am honored to be here this morning, and I wish you well and a wonderful year. Thank you.